We did, but
Freddie, 1 second, please.
here's the thing. We
Freddie.
got. Go ahead. Go ahead. State your case.
I don't have a case. I was just trying to like get it out before you interrupted me. Does everybody have a copy of the meeting rules that were attached to the agenda? Everybody received that? Okay. And
Yes, these, I was asked to prepare some meeting rules for management, especially now that we're in the new location. Basically, I can go through them if you like one by one, or you can just read them. If you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer them. We're allowed to do so by, you'll see it down at the bottom, 4223B, which is the Open Meetings Act, which provides for rules with regard to taping, videotaping, or otherwise. And also 373112, which allows this board to run any hearing or meeting and set rules for those. Read through them, be glad to answer them if you have any questions.
Well, I do. One is, shouldn't this board accommodate any meetings according to state requirements? And if the board room is not accommodational, what are we going to do to make it accommodational? Because
it complies with all ADA requirements.
and ADA in reference to space-wise? Because,
Well,
I mean,
accommodational is what you're
well,
talking
right
about.
now, we have a serious egress problem in here, and, I mean, I don't know if that's up to code as far as the occupancy load and rating of this building.
Yes.
I mean, I would like to see that information.
I'd
as
have
well.
to trust the experts on that one, but as I
Well,
understand it,
I don't know.
the state did approve it.
Well, I mean, it may be on the list as an office, but not a meeting facility.
It was inspected by the state fire
what
marshal.
rule is that you were talking about, Freddie?
Well, I mean, in accommodations, it says right here, you know, you can't put,
What number, I'm sorry?
I was just in generality.
No, it's not on here.
Yeah, yeah, in accommodation for the space and.
Okay, right now, we're gonna do the, rules, the board rules. Do you have?
Well, I mean, there's just certain ones on here, I wonder why we have them on here, especially
Which one?
Which one?
those videotaping must do so while seated. Well, right now, this board doesn't afford the shots of anybody, and that's what I just did, drew on the back here. Maybe we need to turn this table this way, put chairs on the back, make a recommendation so that way the person who is videoing can video everyone that's seated at the table. Because right now, you can't. You have the back, and that's inappropriate and that's unprofessional.
I think it's unprofessional.
I think it's unprofessional what he's doing, but I like I said, right, I'm not gonna take
Correct,
issue
and I
with
understand
that.
it, but I'm just saying, if we're
I'm not
gonna do
gonna
so,
take
let's
issue with
make
it.
accommodations. And that's why I drew the table here to do so, and turning the room around and putting chairs here and one more chair here.
One second, let the board go first, Mr. Burns, then I'll acknowledge the public. Greg, you have a question?
I want to make a motion, which we're supposed to before discussion. I want to make a motion that we accept these rules.
Well, how you gonna make a motion when this is
I just
for
did.
He
discussion?
just did.
No, it's not, it's
You
on.
Well,
have
that's
to
what you
discuss
just
it
said.
after the motion.
But the chairperson, and Ms. Dow just said if there's any discussion, she would answer. That's what she said
Yeah.
to this
Well,
board.
we want to get to discussion, we'll answer it.
So
So I make
that's
the
why-
motion that we accept it.
I need a second.
I'll second.
And a second.
Now we
Now we
can.
can discuss it. All right, let's discuss it. Anybody else have it? We heard Freddie's discussion already. Anybody else on the board have a question or anything? Mr. Burns, you have a question about the meeting rules?
Yes. Well, first of all, I think when you have something that affects the public like that, out of common courtesy, it would behoove the board to provide the audience members as well with copies of that. Secondly, I think it's inappropriate for board members to make remarks about lack of professionalism when I am totally obeying the law. I have repeatedly given the statute that gives me the right to do this. I realize there are people that are uncomfortable with it. It does not alter the fact that I have that right. I recognize Mr. Sims said he knew I had that right, but the quotes of unprofessionalism are inappropriate. They should not have been made. There was a echo of support for that sentiment from another board member. I take strong exception to that. I am only exercising my right, and I do not appreciate having been referred to as unprofessional in exercising that right. Now, secondly, there are some things on here. I went outside into the parking lot. In fact, Mr. Howell drove up as I was speaking with him. I covered some of the things on here. I believe the board's going to have some problems with him, but if you want to approve them, that's your prerogative, particularly the one that says you must stay seated. I consulted a city attorney, and he said provided you do not interrupt the decorum, you cannot mandate that someone has to be seated. You're going to tell someone who may have a back ailment that they must be seated? So, and as far as it's very obvious that you all do not want me videotaping the meetings. You've made that abundantly clear. If you want to get nitpicky down to the 2 cents of electricity that I use, I'll be happy to give you 2 cents. You know, but I think this is not the way to show good relations to the public, particularly calling them unprofessional. I realize people make remarks without giving a lot of thought, but they are not appreciated, period. Now,
Question?
I'm going to take it a step further. I'm going to ask for a formal apology or retraction of the remarks that got made about me earlier. It has repeatedly been done in this boardroom. I have said I'm not going to tolerate it, and yet every meeting I come to, I'm subjected to something like that. So I'm asking right now, the 2 members are here, they know who they are. Do you stand by your statement?
Okay.
Statement I made,
You
if I
don't have
don't
to
like
answer.
being, you know.
No, he said unprofessional, and you backed it up.
Okay, guys.
Now, if you want to say you don't like being videoed, I don't have a problem with that. I have no problem with that.
That's
But if
my
you're gonna-
problem. I don't like being videoed.
And so that's all you want to say. But you're not saying I'm being unprofessional.
No, I didn't say that.
Okay,
That's
all
not
right.
being unprofessional.
I appreciate
I
that.
say it looks to me like you just want an excuse to sue.
Okay, let's stick to the. Okay.
Well, that leaves us down to
Dennis, do you have
one.
any other questions, Mr.
Robert, I'm
Burns?
sorry if I
Thank
called
you.
you unprofessional. I'm
Thank you.
sorry
That-
about that, but I do take offense at you taping me. I do.
That's no problem. I understand that. And you have that
Okay.
prerogative. But I want to say one last thing.
One last thing, because.
Yes, absolutely. When you sign up to be a volunteer on this board, like it or not, this is a public meeting.
You know, Robert, you never had this problem on this board. You got thrown
Hey,
off.
hey, look, Mr. Sims, now you had turned around and said you were apologizing, then you turn right around and attack again.
Hey, I didn't be attacking. I'm telling facts.
Well, you say it's a problem. What is a problem with me exercising my, no ma'am, no ma'am. Well, I want to know what the problem is.
But he did
I
just
know,
let
I
him
know.
go.
I'm just gonna say one
Okay.
more time to talk, and please, could you make your point?
Yes, my point is, when I am not, can you tell me if I'm doing anything illegal?
Well, hold on. Since this is the reason I'm here, okay? I wasn't here before all this started, okay? There's a reason. If any one of these board members feels uncomfortable because they believe that someone in here is causing a hostile environment, okay? And they have that right. I would be worried too, because it happens all the time. You see board meetings on TV all the time where they pull weapons out and they start shooting people.
Oh, I got no problem, and y'all,
Okay,
you can search
but
me
listen.
anytime you want, I don't care. Because I don't have a weapon and I would never do anything like that. But I am asking, you know, about these remarks, have I engaged myself in an unprofessional manner in exercising my legal
it's
right?
maybe the way you make people feel uncomfortable. That's the way they perceive it, that you make them feel uncomfortable. I'm here for security reasons only, but
I understand.
I'm just telling you what I see.
Let me,
I understand.
Friday, one at a
Just-
time.
But my question is, have I done
I'll acknowledge
anything
you in one moment.
that has posed a security threat? Because, you know, correct me if I'm wrong, and y'all can, you can try to change the statute.
not.
Good, well, thank you. Thank you, I appreciate that, Officer,
my-
or Deputy
You have a
Landry.
question,
Well,
Mr.
it's the same thing.
Are you
What-
finished, Mr. Burns, with your comment?
Well, other than the last part was that, you know, this board is welcome to try to change the public meetings laws. I can guarantee you don't get anywhere. You talk about raising the ire of suspicion that says, oh, we're not going to allow these things to be taped. We're not going to allow them to be audio broadcasting.